like to have an organization like everybody that just walked up on stage? I promise you do. So, what I'm going to share with you guys today is really what I feel like is the system for building an organization at eXp. Is that cool? Now, unfortunately for y'all, there are 63 slides and I have 45 minutes. So, I'm going to have to move fast. So, y'all just going to have to roll with that. But I did talk to James and he promised that if you register and they have your email information, then you're going to get a copy of these slides. Woo! Woo! All right, so can we get this up on the? Yeah, you're up. Okay, y'all got it, right? So one big fire, right? So years and years ago, Michael, Reese, and myself were pondering what it would be like if we could put all our fires together and make one big fire, right? What if we could put all our fires together and make one big fire? And that's really what we're doing here at eXp, isn't it? Right? Yep. Yeah. We're all working together to build this company. One team, one dream. I've never seen alignment like there's alignment at this company. We are all here supporting each other. We're all here to help and lift up one another, to elevate one another, right? It's very cool stuff. Never seen it before. So we're going to talk just a little business assumptions. This may be different. For some of these people that have 5,000 people in the organization, it might be different. But this is just in my experience. So some of the business assumptions. The average agent in my group closes about 6 deals a year. The average transaction has been worth around $135. It seems to be going up. And each agent is worth about $812 annually. And so my growth rate is at about 7% net monthly. So these are just numbers to take note of. They're not numbers to swear by and say, oh, it's absolutely going to do this. But these have just been my numbers. And if you do the math, does anybody know what doubling in 12 months is? What the percentage is monthly growth rate? 5.95, almost 6%, right? So this is basically pacing to grow at double every 12 months. Okay, the people that are on stage, it's like the book's already been written. We'll just have to turn the page and we're going to be there if you continue to focus on this. Does that sink in?
Yes.
This opportunity is for every single person in this room. Nobody is excluded. Okay? So those are just some of the business assumptions. All right, so what is that worth, right? So this is, again, just based on the assumptions. I have making no promises or guarantees or so consult your attorney. Any other disclosures I need to throw out there, I'm going to throw them out there. But this is basically what that's worth. 1,000 person in your org is worth about $812,000. 2,000 is worth about $1.6 million. 5,000 is worth about $4 million. Maybe plus or minus a few thousand. That's probably pretty close to some of the numbers that you can put with what you heard on stage earlier. Is that pretty incredible?
It's incredible.
Right. I thought so too. So here's the power of revenue share. If you're monthly revenue share, this is really interesting because Michael and I had a companies that did roughly $10 million of revenue. So when we decided to move to eXp, it was a pretty big decision. And the thing you have to understand about running a $10 million company is it has good months, it has bad months. And you might net, 15% margin. It might go down to 5. It can do anything, right? So when you look at the math and what it's worth, how many years would we have had to work in that business to be able to have the kind of passive income that was created in, now 21 months? It's a lot of years. So if you had $20,000 a month in revenue share, you would have had to have $4.8 million after taxes set aside, and taking 5% of that out, which is actually aggressive. I think a financial advisor would tell you 4 or less than 4%, in order to have $20,000 a month in revenue share. So this opportunity in terms of passive income is like nothing on the planet that we have ever seen.
Yep.
You guys get that?
That's right.
It is like nothing on the planet we've ever seen, and this is why, because it compounds monthly. Do you have any passive? Does your rental income on your rental properties compound monthly and grow? No, it doesn't. Does your dividends compound monthly on the stocks and stuff that you buy? I promise you it doesn't. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Okay?
Yep.
So it's important that you understand that. And once you see it grow, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You ever heard that before? I say it every day. So learn the business, okay? This is a business. Okay, growing your business at eXp is a business no different than your real estate business. You got to treat it like a business if you want it to grow, okay? And if it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't matter. Just because I may be able to get up here and do something, or you may be able to get up and do this one thing that might generate some activity, if you can't help your people do the same thing, then you will not grow like what you're seeing the people on stage do. You follow me?
It's good.
Okay? If it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't matter. You got to think bigger than yourself. You got to think about what am I doing and how does it duplicate. So let's look at what that might do for you. So if you want to see exponential growth, if you plus 2 people a month. If everybody recruited 1 person a month, there's 2 of you, versus if everyone recruited 2 people a month, there would be 3 of you that first month. And look how it grows. Look at the difference after 12 months. If you got everyone in your organization to grow by 2 people a month instead of just 1 person a month. That's the compound effect. Our brains don't know how to compute math this way. You have to see it in a spreadsheet. Right? So we would have never guessed that in 12 months that you could have the difference would be 4,096 versus 531,000. Does anybody do that math quickly in their head and figure that out? Absolutely not. It's absolutely absurd. But that's the power of compounding. We see it in interest, but we've never seen it in passive income. Okay? So pretty cool stuff, right? Yeah. So, all right. This is the new mindset I want you to adopt. Okay? How many of you in here, when you got your first revenue share check, you did a little dance? Right? Amen? Right? Most everybody, you get your first check, you're like, well, heck yeah, all right, little revenue share dance. We call it the rev share dance. Today is the day. In fact, you might see a bunch of us dancing tonight. There's no question about that. So, but the new mindset is, your recruit is not a recruit until you help them recruit someone. Right? If you're not helping them get passive income, this business is hard, right? There's a lot of people in this room sold like real estate, no doubt about that. But there's a lot of people in this room that they have a hard time just being able to stay in the business, right? Just being able to hang in there and not have to go get a job and do something else. You get a little bit, you can get somebody to at least bring a friend or 2, maybe they make some little bit of passive income, they're much more likely to hang in there and make it and be successful in real estate. I think that's one of the beautiful things that Glenn Sanford has done as his company, is he's giving people a chance to make it in real estate.
Yep.
Right? So that's your new mindset. So building oil wells in your organization. So here's another thing that I want you to think about. When it comes to going out and finding people, we're going to talk through a few scripts. I'm going to have to go fast. But when it comes to the people that you bring on, you want to drill deep and find, if you find John, John finds Mary, Mary finds Tracy, Tracy finds Cindy, Cindy finds Dave. Drill deep into your organization and find the next leader. Find the next person that's going to show up here. How many of you brought, I'll tell you another thing we should do next time on stage is how many people brought the most people to this event? Because how many of you that were in this room that saw what you saw today are never going to think the same after that?
Yep.
Right? You're not going to ever think small again, are you? Because once your mind's been stretched to a whole nother mindset, what? We've been saying up here up front. We're still blown away. So this is possible for anybody, but once you see it, once you come here and you experience this, you're not going to go home and think, it's not going to work for me, right? This ain't the group of people that thinks that way, is it? Right? This is the opportunity-seeking group of people that's in this room. This is possible for all of us. So drill deep and find the next leader, the next person that's going to be like, what do I need to do, coach? Tell me what to do. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. And once you find that person, you find 1 or 2 people in your organization that follow this process, and you'll be up here on stage the next time we're here. I promise you that.
That's right.
Find those leaders and invest in those people, okay? So, and here's the thing. Once you find a new person that you bring on, would you rather talk to 10 new recruits of people that are the sharpest, most ambitious people they know, or just 10 random people that you're trying to figure out, to try to bring over to eXp? You want to talk to the sharp, ambitious people that they know. It's a whole new set of people. Every time someone joins your organization, there's a whole new set of relationships that they have that you can tap into and help bring into your organization. That's a huge mindset shift. Don't just think about yourself. Think about how do I tap into those relationships and how do I help bring those people over, right? Those are fresh people that you have an opportunity to talk to after you've exhausted all options. So some of you feel like you've exhausted all of your options with all of your relationships, right? We get to a point where I think I've talked to everybody, most of them 5 times, right? So think about that when you're thinking about who do I need to talk to, who are the new people I need to talk to. So this is tap rooting until you find your next general. Don't stop there. So you create another leg. Once you get a general, I can tell you this. If you knew all the ins and outs of who was on stage, the people with the biggest numbers were hugging people coming off the stage that were in their group, right? You know why? Because those are people that have that many people in their group, right? Those are the people that are leaders in their group that are building deep. And then once you get to that stage, you're leading those people. That's the people you want to be leading. So, and don't stop there. Once you find a general in your leg, you want to help them do the same thing. And you want to find 2 more in your own leg. If you can get 3, it's game over. The fastest growth you'll probably ever see. If you like Brent, and he's big, he's going to be the biggest ever. Doing a great job. So anchoring agents. So I'm not going to steal, Michael Reese has a session tomorrow that I think is going to be, I know it's going to be because I know what it is, and it's going to be mind-blowing. You're going to love it. It's going to be amazing. And it's really all about from the point that you bring somebody on board, how to help make them successful. And that's not exactly probably the topic, but it will be amazing. But anchoring agents, how do you get somebody in and make sure that they stay, make sure that they're successful? You don't just bring them over and hope that they're going to stay, and hope they figure it out, hope that the onboarding's okay, and hope that they find everything, hope that they open that first email, for God's sake. And everybody knows that, right? Like, there's a lot of things that can go right or wrong, but you got to take responsibility. And I have a slide for this, but it's really the right time to say it now. But the people that you bring to this organization are not just your opportunity, they are your responsibility.
Great. Yes.
Don't be blaming anybody else, man. You take responsibility for their success. That's what this opportunity is about. And that's pretty cool, man. To be honest with you, people don't have to change money. Money doesn't have to change hands. They don't have to pay you. You just get to help people be successful. That's what life's all about. Like, that's the place that we all want to get to. Living a much more fulfilled life. Well, you can do that in eXp, but you got to take ownership of the people you bring in. So, get them to the next event. Number one thing. Get them to the next event. Share the vision of the company with them. Share Glenn's vision with them. Get clear on their big why and remind them. What's their big why? Why'd you join? What is it? What is that? Why is this important to you? Be a champion of the company and share your testimonial. Get them their first recruit in the first week as quickly as you can. Get them their first revenue check in the first 90 days. That's a good goal to have, don't you think? That means you can pay too, by the way. So get them indoctrinated into the systems, tools, Facebook Workplace, eXp World. Don't hope that that happens. Make sure that that happens. Own that responsibility. Make sure that they get Facebook downloaded. It's on the front page of their phone. The Facebook chat app is there. They join the key groups they need to be a part of, and that they're using the tools that they have. Once you get inside of eXp and using the tools, it's like, this is the most amazing company ever. Like, it's so much better than the way we used to do it. So much better. You get answers at your fingertips, but some people don't even have a profile on Facebook Workplace. If that's people in your group, that's your responsibility. That person's, you gotta assume that person's gonna leave.
Yep.
You gotta assume that. You gotta make sure you make the difference and get them involved. It's super important. So, and then lastly, genuinely care about them, make them feel special, right? All right, so launching your business versus starting your business. This is the biggest aha we've had. Like I mentioned, I've been in the company 21 months. The last 90 days, this has been the biggest thing that we've learned. So I'm happy to share this. Launching versus just starting the business. So agent success at eXp is your opportunity and your responsibility, right? So it's easier to build fast than it is to build slow. We've been building slow. Doesn't feel like it, but that's what we've been doing. We've been doing a lot of one-to-one things that don't necessarily create a lot of leverage. And so you have the opportunity to go speak to personally to 20 people, all one by one, or would you rather speak to 20 people all at one time? Or have someone in your group that's a leader speak to all 20 people all at one time? Which would y'all rather? Speak to all of them one by one? Is right? I know y'all know the answer, so I'm not even going to wait for the answer. We don't have time for the answer. Y'all know the answer. It was a rhetorical question. All right. Here's why. It saves you 19 hours of time. It compresses time frames so you make more money faster. It creates a better story. Isn't it a better story when somebody can jump on board here and then, like Vincent Koo came up here and has 69 personals and 370 something people in the first 60 days? That's a pretty good story, isn't it? Pretty good. Right? It's a pretty good story. But you can create those stories by making sure you're presenting to multiple people as opposed to one-to-one, which has been how we've been doing it. So it creates synergy, and by building in waves, you're teaching leverage to those you recruit in the process. So if you're bringing people into group presentations, then so will other people. If you bring people into one-on-one presentations, they're going to think that's the same way. You're going to grow one-to-one instead of one-to-many. You guys follow me? It's a big difference. So your business will grow exponentially instead of linear, and what you do duplicates. So if you grow slow, so will your team. So the number one key to success in agent attraction is committing 100% to the system. This is the hardest part, okay? It's hard to commit to the system because we're all a bunch of entrepreneurs, right? Everybody in here is trying to engineer their own best way to do things. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? A bunch of entrepreneurs? Anybody? No, just me? Am I the only one that does that? All right. So we're all entrepreneurs. We all think, oh, no, I'm going to do this way or that or whatever. Adopt the system. And like I said earlier, we'll say it again, if it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't matter. Keep that in mind when you're thinking about what things you're doing. So people-driven versus systems-driven. Okay, everything hinges on your involvement. Meetings only happen when you host them. Some of you people are going to resonate with some of this. Presentations only happen when you do them. Your revenue share group only gets trained when you train them. And the only way to achieve true freedom lies in the fact that your business must be built to rely on a system and not you. We all know that as we build our real estate teams. But the same thing goes for how we build our organization at eXp. So, the system. The first thing is, get fired up. Okay? Get fired up. Let me tell you something. I've been fired up for 21 months straight. Come on. Like 21 months straight. Let's get it on. This is the greatest time I've had in my whole entire career of real estate, 22 years. This is the most fun I've ever had. Now, I can tell you this. You can say a lot of stupid things enthusiastically and people will still follow you. Okay? So, like if you just get fired up, you might already be winning. Okay? If you say a lot of things wrong, but just be really excited. People are like, yeah, he's excited. What's he got going on? I want to see what's going on. Right? I'm not kidding about that. I've lucked my way. I've enthusiastically bullshitted my way into more opportunities than I could ever get together. Right? Be enthusiastic, man. That's just contagious. All right. I don't know if I can cuss or not, but it's too late now. So, all right. So next, I'll do my best. All right. Make a list. Right? Make your list. You know how many people skip this step? You're not too. Listen. This is 101. Make your list of people. Who's the list of people you know? The relationships you have. Start there. If you don't stop and make the list, who the heck are we going to start with? How are we going to kick off your organization? Don't let people just get caught up in the onboarding process, trying to get everything going for the real estate business. You got to force them to make their list. Force them to do that. Make them send you a screenshot of it. Make them commit to it. You know what their why is. You know what their goals are. You know that so not all, but for most people, they would like, I know everyone would like to have more passive income. That's not a question, right? Yeah, well, that's what I don't know about this. I don't know about this. No, listen, we have a system. Well, you don't want to do agent attraction? That's great. We got a system for it. This is perfect for you. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to make a list, and I'm going to do it for you. Right? Don't let people off the hook. These are relationships of people that need to know about this company. Agreed? Right. So then it's a private group presentation, and I'm going to share the script for that in a second. So the private group presentation is a Zoom call, and the Zoom call is basically we're going to invite all the people that those relationships to a Zoom call, and somebody in your group, and I promise you you have somebody in your group that can do one of these, and they're going to give a presentation. The second thing is the weekly lunch and learn. This is the local level, plugging in, getting people together, getting people seeing it over and over again, getting them trained to get together, fellowship. And opportunity for them to bring stuff. Always a place for people to bring. If you don't have this in your marketplace, I promise you do. There's somebody that's doing lunch and learns you can plug into. If not, then you should think about starting it or figuring out who else maybe is not in your group that you can partner up with and do these. Attend all the events, all of them. And I'll tell you a story. Mike Reese lives 2 doors down from a guy by the name of Jefferson Santos. Jefferson Santos is in a company called World Ventures. He's he's one of the, he has some ownership in the company. But World Ventures is a network marketing company. It's actually a really cool company if you like to travel. And Jefferson, 2 doors down, and for Mike Reese, which is just kind of bizarre, right? And I actually was listening to a podcast by the guy by the name of Eric Worre, somebody I recommend you all start listening to. Great stuff, great content, and just learning. Networking. We're doing network marketing isn't a bad word, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. Network marketing isn't a bad word. It's just networking. That's it. And marketing is not a bad word. That's how we make money. So network marketing is not a bad thing. It's just a way for distribution of a product through the marketplace. That's all it is. It's word of mouth marketing. And so if you understand the principles of what we're doing, that's what we're doing with agent attraction. We're using word of mouth to let people know about this company, educate them and inform them and bring them on board and change their life. That's what we're doing here. So attending events is really important. Eric Worre made a point, he made a point that when he first started, he had a question. What's the one thing, man? What's the one thing? And he was asking this guy that was on stage, the mentor, what's the one thing that really makes it all come together for you? And the guy, gentleman, I don't know who was on stage, who his mentor was he was talking to, but the guy said, he goes, you see this room? It's about this size too. He said about 1,000 people, more than 1,000 people in here. He said the next event, the same 1,000 people that were here, only 500 of them will be at the next event. And at the next event, there'll only be 250 out of this original group. And at the next one, it'll be smaller than that. You see those people you saw up on stage today? Those people are at every event.
Come on.
Right?
Yep.
That's a mindset shift, folks. That's a mindset shift. So like, if you commit to the events, I guarantee you, you're not going to go home and act the same. You guys are going to be the same when you go home after this event, but you got to commit now to the next one. That's going to be the difference, okay? And make sure your people do the same, your leaders. So be fired up. Commit to working on personally your growth mindset daily. This is for everybody. Nobody's exempt from this. Surround yourself with positive people and they support your vision. Set goals and track what you do daily. Important, okay? Show you want to change your life. Show me something. Show me your calendar. Show me what you're doing daily. You change anything in your life, you can change something you do daily. Period. All right, so you're selling eXp and your entire revenue share group. That's the group of people. I can tell you this: there's a lot of amazing people in this room. Okay, there's a lot of amazing people in this company. Okay, let's stop there for a second. This is the biggest backed group of agents I've ever been in the room with. I'm telling you, I've been in a lot of different rooms with a lot of powerful people. But I've never seen anything as simple like this, and especially as fast as we're growing. And the more people I meet, it's like, you're a baller too, you're an animal too. Like, you guys are just like us. The right people are joining this company because they're like us and they wouldn't be coming, right? So, all right, so there isn't, and that's the other thing, there isn't a problem in real estate that someone in your group can't help somebody solve. So you're not just selling eXp, you're not just selling the benefits of eXp, you're selling the benefits of being in a partnership with the top agents in the world. That's really what we got here. So don't look past that. And I'll tell you, this is been the story of my life. Be relentless, right? You ever feel like this? You're like, what's the goal? All right, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's been the story of my life right there. So be relentless. Make your list. Make your list of every real estate person in your sphere of influence, agents you think are ambitious, sharp as a tack, people that you want to be partners with. Think if they're smart. You want smart people, because smart people get it. They'll figure it out. Okay, make a list of the affiliates you know, mortgage and title. Your list is your gold mine. And your list is always growing, it never ends. That's why you print out the wealth chart Rob Flynn created, and you use that, and you make sure that's pinned up on the wall, and you never take it down, and you always continually add people to it. Okay, make it visual. Don't let it escape and get put in the drawer where you're not looking at it. And there's the wealth chart. Print out, put it up on the wall, set your goal for all the levels. Update it daily, and text it to somebody in your group. Let your people in your group know who's serious. I see people posting it in our group all the time that have printed theirs out, they've got it, they're using it, I know that they're serious. If you're updating that and you're sending it to me regularly, I know you're serious. That's the people I want to invest in, the people that are letting me know they're serious about this. Okay? 8-step invitational script. So, be in a hurry. Okay? This is not a long conversation unless you want a train wreck. So, because you'll screw it up. Trust me. The more you talk, the worse it's going to get. So this is not an easy company to explain to somebody in a conversation. So let's not go there, right? So give a sincere compliment. I'm going to give you the script here in a minute. Make an invitation. If I would you, okay, is the process. It's my favorite phrase. Best thing I learned the first 6 months I was here is if I would you. Get their commitment, confirm the appointment, triple commit, get off the phone. So we have to move fast. Actually, I think I'm probably timing pretty good. So, all right. So, all right. So I don't have much time. I can't read that close. All right. So I don't have much time, Mike, but I've always respected you and how you do business. Is there a number of people that you can say that to? That's an easy one. That's a good way. Pay them a compliment. How many of you have read How to Win Friends and Influence People? Right? If you haven't, you should all read that book. Right? Pay a sincere compliment. People listen after that. They're likely to listen to whatever you tell them. So let me ask you a question. If I could show you a way to add a new revenue stream to your real estate business, would you be open to it? What are they going to say? No? No. I don't want to. Nope. No thank you. I like my money the way it is. I'm not going to take no more. Whatever. That's not going to happen. So if I text you a link with a short video explaining the opportunity, would you take a look at it? That's if I would you. Right? If I could get one of the top guys in the company to be on the phone, would you be open to learning more? No, I don't want to learn anything. Right? These are good questions because they're going to work for the right people, but they don't work for the wrong people. Like if you don't want to deal with people that don't want to learn, no, I wouldn't be interested in learning more. Oh, you would? Well, that's really smart. Okay, good luck with your life. I don't want anything to do with it. I can't help you. You're way too lost in the case for me to be working with you. So I'm not joking. I'm being very serious about that. I'm not trying to. I'm picky. I'm not. Listen. In the end of one of the last slides, I talked about this. I have a hard time not talking about stuff when I want to, so I'm going to do it anyways, and we'll talk about it again. But this is, I'm not trying to, I have there's no need in my voice when I'm talking to someone about joining this company. You'd be lucky if I allowed you to join our group here at this company. That's what this is about. We're not begging you. We ain't begging anybody. You'd be lucky if you were qualified to join this company. That's the mindset that you should have when talking to people. So if I send you a video about the company in which you poke holes in it, tell me if I'm crazy. It's another good one. That worked on me. Al Stacey basically worked that one in on me. I've been told about the company two different times. Two different times I didn't really look at it, but Al got me with that. Poke holes in it. So when do you think you could watch it by? Okay. So if they say yes, I would. Then when do you think you could watch it by? Then they're going to tell you the time. Don't give them an option. Let them choose the time because that's a commitment from them. They're committing to a time. So you let them commit because that's the second commitment. The third commitment is, okay, if I called you tomorrow by 5 o'clock, you would for sure watch it, right? Okay? So that's a third commitment. So that's if you're trying to get them to watch the video. These same scripts work for a number of different ways that you can do this. But this is kind of the 8-step invitation script. Okay? So private group presentation. So this is, was that helpful for some of you that have some questions, right? About how do you even start a conversation? Right, okay, cool. So private group presentations, we've been having a lot of fun with these, and they've been getting really good. So you schedule this within the first 3 to 5 days that once they decided to join. Ideally, before they join the company because no one knows you, right? And so invite everyone in your sphere that you know, like and trust. Get at least 30. If you invite 30 people, 10 people maybe show up. It's going to be your responsibility to text them the link to the Zoom call. You're going to have to make sure that you text them and remind them, and you're going to have to keep them excited. Use benefit statements in your text messages to make sure they show up. Pay attention to who is showing interest in asking questions. When they get on the Zoom call, you're going to introduce and edify whoever it is you're going to have do the Zoom call. So the goal, and this is just a side note, for many of us in the room right now, trying to give a presentation about eXp, you're like, not doing that yet, and that's fine. But your goal should be to get to the level where you can do it too. And we can all get better at anything, right? Y'all give a listing presentation, y'all know how to work with a buyer and write a contract, but there was a point at which you didn't know how to do it. And this revenue stream, it's important for you to learn how to articulate the value of this company and get people excited about joining, right? So just commit that if you want to be up here on stage and you want to have a 6-figure passive income, that I'm going to be willing to learn that no different than I was willing to learn a listing presentation or a buyer presentation, right? It's a new revenue stream in your business that you didn't have before. Commit to learning and being the best, okay? So, but in lieu of that, you're going to have someone in your group give this presentation. Okay? Someone in your group that can give the presentation. You're going to invite as many people as you can to this, and before you join. Okay? And once you get on, pay attention to who's joining and who's showing interest. Pay attention to what's going on. Send everybody who shows up. This is just our version. Send them whatever version of the eXp presentation. If they showed up, send it to them. If they didn't show up, send them the same thing. So afterwards, if they watched it, they were going to watch it again. How many of you in the room watched more than one video before you joined eXp? Okay, all of us, right? Just about all of us, right? Did y'all see that? Did y'all look around to see how many hands are up? How many of y'all watched more than one video before you joined eXp? Okay, that's how the process works. Your mind gets blown, and then you go on this like insomnia path of having to watch 100 videos. Okay, so it's okay. Send them the videos. Send them the videos. We all did it. So. And anyone who doesn't show up, send them a personalized link, probably to one of Brent's videos, which is probably the best one that's out there. And then use 3-way calls to answer questions. Okay? So 3-way calls. Afterwards, the people that have questions say, hey, there's a script. I think it's probably next. So hey, Bill, it's Jay. Look, I don't know if you knew this, but I need to change. This is the invitation script to the PGP, and this could be in a text message as well. Look, I don't know if you knew this, but I need to change, so I've been investigating an opportunity to take my real estate business to the next, and income to the next level. I ran across a really sharp guy who's been tremendously successful. It could be she, whatever. And it's working with highly disruptive real estate brokerage, and you're the first person I thought of. He's going to do a private conference call, insert time and date. If I can get you a link to join the call, would you be willing to jump on and give me some feedback? Something I'm thinking about doing. If you send that text message, maybe short it up, that's a little bit wordy, to the people that already know, like, and trust you. Prior to you joining the eXp, they don't know yet, you're going to get a lot of people to jump on and poke holes in that with you. So what we used to do was I tried to get those 20 people one by one to watch a video. Guess how well does that work? Anybody try that? Hard, hard. Okay? You got to be really good at selling it to get somebody to watch any amount of video. But getting somebody to commit to a time where it's maybe 20 minutes on the phone with somebody who, something mysterious. You see here, it doesn't say anything about eXp, right? Because what does everybody tell you they know about eXp? Well, I already heard about eXp. Nobody ever hear that before? Does everybody hear that all the time? Right? They don't know shit about eXp, just so you know. None of them, okay? They don't know. They do not know. Right? Just so you know, every person that tells you they know about eXp, you can guarantee they do not know anything about eXp.
That's right.
It's true. It's absolutely true. They think they do, and then you ask them like, so you understand how the stock works? Stock? No, I can't remember exactly how the stock works. Right? No, you don't know nothing about eXp. So just know that's an objection you're going to get, but it's not real. Okay, it's not real. They think they do. Bless their hearts. Now it's your job to educate and inform. And that's what we're doing, guys. All we're really doing is educating and informing. Right? Like if you knew, you'd already be here. Right? That's how I feel about it. Like if you already knew about eXp, you'd already be here. So I know you don't know about it because you're not here. So let me educate you. Let me just show it to you. Let me just show you what you're missing out on. Why would you do anything else? Are you lost your mind? You don't like money? Okay, fine. So we're at. All right, keys to success. Be enthusiastic. Keep the presentation brief. Facts tell, stories sell. Man, the better you get at telling stories, the better it gets. And the more you study people that do this in other arenas and other types of product sales and things of that nature, stories are the key, man. Know your stories of your people that came over where life-changing things have happened. How many of you in this room have had your life has changed because of eXp? Yeah. We should, right? Me too. Me too. And we should be, what we should all be doing is documenting those stories, and we should all be leveraging them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's those stories that are going to resonate with people where they're at in their life, right? If they knew, they'd be here already. Okay, so, all right, so weekly lunch and learns, 13 minutes, all right, I think I'm doing pretty good. So we may move a little faster. So once launched, this is your weekly recruiting live presentation. It's important that you get your people together weekly, especially since we don't have bricks and mortar. This is a place for us to get together and have lunch and kick it and talk and shop and talk how things are going, help one another, help your people. And Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just send out a video to watch to create a movement. You need to give your best generals a crowd to speak to, right? You gotta have a place where you can get on the perch and tell the story of how great this company is, where people can feel it. Okay, you can't feel it in a video, right? So, and you'll be able to introduce your prospects to other agents they can relate to. In a lot of cases, we talk to agents. Some of you in the room, and I'm not going to mention names, but there's some people in this room that have organizations, big organizations, up on stage they ain't never sold a house. Oh, good. They can do it. Anybody can, can't they? Right? They even sold a house and they can build this huge organization of people at eXp. That's right. You know what's smart? They probably bring people, other agents around that they can talk to, that they can relate to, because they can't relate to you if you haven't sold a house in a lot of ways, right? So make sure you're bringing people to these weekly lunch and learns so that they're meeting people at eXp, they're having success, and they're sharing their stories, and that resonates where they connect with other people, right? So you don't go to church to find your faith, you go to strengthen it. But that's the key, right? Right. I love that. So that you want to go to make sure you're keeping your people involved, keeping them involved and excited about the opportunity. You'll learn how to give the presentation as well, and you'll keep up with the changes that the company's making. So a lot of times there's change that's happening if you're not plugged in on Workplace, you're missing videos and things because you're out selling real estate or whatever. Get to the weekly lunch and learn if something changes on one of the slides, you'll know about it, right? So, and this is the system. It's a system that if you plug the people you bring into the company into going to lunch and learns. We're talking about you got to go to lunch anyways. Most people, us in real estate, we hardly ever eat. You know what I'm saying? We eat on the run a lot of times, right? But an hour a week. Are you telling me that you're too busy to invest an hour a week in this opportunity? Okay, right. Commit. That's not a lot of time. An hour a week for a lunch and learn, and you don't want to be there, you don't want to take the time, you're too busy this week? I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying into that. I think you're not committed. So buy into that. It's a system. If you do it, your people will do it. If you don't do it, then you're not leading your people to do it. Okay? It's important. Three-way calls. So this is fundamentally one of the easiest things to do is leverage your group. And I think a lot of times we tend to try to go out and wing it and try to sell people on eXp when we should be trying to edify someone in our group and let them, like, listen, you gotta meet this girl, she's amazing, she's killing it with this company, and you just gotta talk to her. Can I at least get you, if I get her on the phone, would you at least jump on the call with me? All right, let's call her right now. Right? All you did was you edified the person that's gonna be on the call, and now they're gonna be listening. That person has authority in their mind, they're gonna be a lot more likely to listen where they maybe wouldn't have listened to you. Right? So three-way calls, I do you know how many three-way calls I do a day? It's insane. It's probably, geez, I bet I average probably 5 or 6 three-way calls a day. Probably something like that. Happy to do them, love doing them. But that's smart, that's leverage. I'm not too fast. All right, they can do with anyone in your upline. It's duplicatable. Anyone can do this. Find the people in your upline that are willing to do it and leverage your people in your group. Position them as an expert and much more knowledgeable source. Someone worthy of their time and attention. I'm not going to do the bathroom clothes. Not up here. Rob taught me the bathroom clothes, but it's not appropriate for this audience. There's some things that you can't come back from. Now, I've been doing this a long time. There's some things you can't do on stage, is what I've learned. Right? Not a lot, but just some things. All right. And I got to get to the end. So catch me later. Catch me outside. All right. All right, so invitation script. John, glad that you're interested. Now, you know I'm relatively new to eXp because I respect your time. I expect you want to get the most accurate information from the best source. I'm working directly with one of the top guys in the company. He knows how to make big money and how the big money's being made. You're going to love him. He's fun. He's easy to work with. But most importantly, he genuinely wants to help you win. If I could get him on the phone, would you be willing to talk to him? Pretty good script, right? All right. So, all right, that's pretty close to the same, so I'm not going to read it. Plus, it's going to be words on the screen. I need to whittle that down. All right, three-way call agenda. Share your background and your story about why you joined. Mention the success you've already had. Mention the many success stories across our entire group. Be relatable. What did it solve for people in their situation? Understand who you're talking to, what their situation is, what they're trying to get away from, what they're moving away from, what pain they're moving away from. Ask what questions they have. Let them know what the next step is. I'm going to have the so-and-so reach back out and send you over the application. If they're not ready now, you always set them up for the next engagement. That's an important little nugget. So I used to get off calls with people and I wasn't expecting them to say yes or no, but usually what happens if you have a really good three-way call with someone, they go, oh, okay, what's the next step? Best words I could ever hear, right? That's when you go, you got it. Okay, but if they don't say that, you don't sometimes know, well, what's the next step? So you got to always create the next engagement. So one of the things that I learned to say that was really helpful was in the very beginning was, what do you like about what you saw? Okay, what do you like about what you saw? The reason that's important because if you ask them, well, what are your thoughts? They can say, people will say stupid things to you, right? They might say something stupid. Well, that's not the direction you wanted to go. You wanted to talk about what did you like about what you saw? And then they'll go, oh, well, I had one lady one time, I didn't ask this question in the beginning, and because I forgot, and I asked it towards the end. The whole time she talked about how she was not interested in revenue share. At the very end, I was like, I feel like I'm wasting my time. Like, this lady's just shooting down everything about the company. Like, I don't have time for this. So if you're not interested, fine. I was like, well, what did you like? Because I forgot to say it. So what did you like about what you saw? She's like, I really thought, the revenue share was really pretty interesting. I think that was what I probably liked the most. You just spent the whole time telling me how that you didn't care about that. That wasn't trying to shoot it all down, and that was what was most interesting. Okay, so let me ask you this: how much money a month would you need to make a revenue share for this to be? If we look fast forward 12 months from today, for you to say this is the best decision you ever made. Well, 5,000 a month would be great. All right, great. Let's get on a call next week and let me show you a plan for how we can help you get to 5,000 a month. That sound good? Okay. So instead of letting people off the hook, find out what they're most interested about and set up the next engagement. The next conversation is how you're going to help them accomplish that. You guys follow me? So I used to let people off the phone, not having the next call, and they went into the black hole of I'll never know when they're going to be ready or what to follow up with them with. Okay? Was that helpful?
Yes.
All right, cool. I'm trying to add as much value as fast as I can. All right, recruit to invite versus invite to recruit. So option one, you invite 5 people this week to the lunch and learn, and 1 shows up, and your potential that week is 1. Or option 2, you recruit an agent earlier in the week and you get their fresh untapped list of 20 to 30 to work with, and you get 5 or 6 to the event, your potential is at least 6. You see, that's a faster way to grow. Start thinking about your people and all of their people and getting them to that live event as quickly as possible. You'll grow way faster. Create urgency. If you can create urgency, then people will not, if you can't create urgency, people will not take action. Real estate agents, we are the world's worst at FOMO. Fear of missing out, or if you can show me somebody else who's in my market's going to get something and I'm not going to get it. We buy stuff that's worse than anybody. Like, real estate agents are the world's worst at buying stuff they shouldn't buy. Are we not? Right? So if you can create fear of missing out, that's a big deal. So dangle the carrot. Hey, listen, there's a new country opening up. You know how many people that they go, what? There's a new country opening up. I know people there. That's interesting. So tell me more about that, right? So dangle the carrot. Get them interested. Let the prospect know that you're meeting with several others in the market and you're looking to partner with one and really help them build it big. So listen, I get it if you're not ready or if it's not a good time. I'm only looking for a handful of people to work with, specifically one in this market that really wants to go big with this. So if now's not a good time, that's great. I'm just going to be looking, I'm going to continue my search for the right person. Listen, I don't need you, okay? There's other people that I'm going to show this to. And other people are going to probably say yes, and you're going to be saying no. So you can wait as long as you want. Anybody here join a year later and be like, wish I'd have joined sooner? Everybody, right? I've never met anybody yet that said, man, I'm sure glad I waited. Right? I've never heard anybody say that.
Come on.
Right?
Sing it, brother.
All right, so I'm going to skip that because we don't have time. All right, get in versus related. I talked about this earlier. I'm not actually finished on time. Look at that. It's a miracle. All right, success is an agent attraction. Success is in agent attraction is a mindset and a philosophy. So, many people are out there trying to get people. That results in the appearance of need. You want to prospect people to see who you would like to. You would like to let into your group eXp. I don't work with every agent, just the ones with the growth mindset. So I'm only looking for the right people. Like I had a couple, bless their hearts, the best decision they could have ever made, and they're thinking about doing a Better Homes and Gardens. And I got tired of arguing with her. Like, she just didn't get it. And you know what? Unfortunately, for them, they're gonna miss out on this opportunity. But fortunately for all of us, y'all ain't gonna have to work with them. Maybe they can sell when you're listening to it. But yeah, I thought about my day every day waking up to her complaining about something because of her mindset. And it's just not who I want to work with. So it's good to say no to people. Some people it just ain't a good fit. Okay, that's okay. Let's only, right? We only want to work with the people we want to work with in this company. Let's leave all the really people we don't like to the other companies. Almost said another bad word. Got it though. Okay. All right, so massive communication equals massive income. This is really helpful. So we're in the business of moving people to action. That's what we're doing. Moving people to action. And here's how your day should look. At some point now, you might only be able to invest 25% of your entire time towards agent attraction because you got real estate to sell, you've got things that you're doing that you need to have your income come from. But you want to spend as much of it as you can doing this because it has a better long-term lifetime value impact on your life. So, but whatever portion of it is, it should look something like this. 25% of your time should be contacting new people. 25% of your time should be following up with people you've already talked to. 25% of your time should be doing three-way calls or third-party closes for your team. And 25% of your time calling your team to promote something like an event to make sure that they show up, or promote a contest or something that's going on that you're doing for your group. Okay? And I think I'm going backwards. Leaders creating leaders creating leaders. So I'll finish up pretty close to the end here, but we hired an action coach to come in and do strategy with us, and he was the #1 action coach, I guess, in their whole action coach environment. His name was Earl Kemper. And he came in to NADA, and we were up in a suite where we did, we do strategy in we always do annual strategy in like a high rise up at the top with an environment where you can think big and all that kind of stuff. And so we were in the suite, and he comes in and he writes on the board, leaders creating leaders creating leaders. And I was like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Because I didn't understand the impact of leadership and the impact of your actions in leading others, and what you can do once you have everyone singing from the same sheet of music when you're building a company. It's incredible. It really is. And that's really what this is all about. And this is a question that Al asked that we did an event called Agent to CEO. And would you follow you? So that's a hint right here. Because it starts with you, right? If you want people to follow you, if you want to become a better leader, you gotta start leading yourself better, right? It starts there. And you have to be genuine. You have to genuinely care about your team's goals and inspiring them to hit their goals. You got to know what their goals are. Number one, you got to know what their goals are. You got to know what their why is, why that's important to them, and you got to be inspired to want to help them hit those goals. A good leader knows their team's why. You must focus on developing people versus making sales. This isn't about just recruiting people. It's about developing people. You're developing leaders within your organization. Your goal is to duplicate yourself. Your goal should be for your people under you to out-earn you. You want to help them crush your goals, crush your numbers. That should be the mindset, right? So we're going to have to move past this because I did hit the end. There's some what leaders do. You're going to get these slides, the vision question. If we're having this is a vision question you're going to ask your team. If we're having this conversation 3 years from today, what would need to have happened both personally and professionally for you to say was successful? That's a really good vision question to get to understand where do people want to be both personally and professionally 3 years from today, because that's really what's going to be what you're driving to do. Recognition, you guys saw it on how many of you are going to be up on stage this next event? Right? I saw this quote twice. Babies cry for it, men die for it. Right? Let me get an award. I want on stage. Everybody wants on stage. So make sure you're doing that within your groups too. Oh, give them praise. Send out a group email, a newsletter, post their fifth person that they got, their 10th person or whatever. Give them recognition. Make sure you're doing that in your group. Bodily success, multi-million-dollar earners desire to be the best at their craft and excel in the following areas. Man, I had a lot more stuff here. So here, last slide. So treat this amazing opportunity to earn revenue share by bringing agents to eXp like you do your business, and you'll not only change your own life, but you're going to change the life of many others. And I'll say thank you to Glenn Sanford for creating this great company.
Several years ago, maybe more than 10 years ago, and when he saw the presentation over the phone, we did a webinar for him, he got done, he pulled off to the side of the road to listen. He watched it on his telephone, and he got me on the phone and had me ask over an hour's worth of questions on the spot right after the webinar was over. But this guy and his wife, when you get a husband and wife team that support each other, that are a force to be reckoned with, this is what this couple is. He sells over $50 million worth of real estate, pretty much himself. He's running 24/7, and we looked for a way. His big why was to be able to spend a bit more time with his family and not be on the road so much selling real estate. And so I want to bring to the stage right now, Jay and Ashley Nelson.
Man, this is crazy. This is fun though, right? Yeah. First thing I will say as we sit here and watch everybody, Ashley and I don't even feel worthy. I never thought we'd be following Jay Kinder, man. We're just thankful. And I guess, Jay had 43 slides, and this is my notes. But I will tell you this, I'm going to tell you what we stand for, and probably why it has we've got 899 active people at eXp. We've enrolled 41. I just go out and enroll. She kind of keeps track of everything. But here's a couple things I would say. We don't feel worthy. We don't feel like we're better than anybody. If you're a brand new agent and you're in the back, if it wasn't for that guy on the front row over there that taught me how to sell real estate 20 years ago, that took me out of a restaurant, I do not think that I'm better than anybody in this room. And I tell people that all the time. I want to empower you to believe in yourself. Here's a couple of key points for us in eXp. I believe you got gotta lead with your heart with this thing, guys. This is not about transactions. I don't sell real estate that way. I give my heart. Your heart's gotta become first. People can read bullshit, all right? But they can also read when you are real. And you gotta believe in it. I'm sorry I cussed. My wife is really mad right now. Sorry, baby. I love you. I just got excited. I couldn't help myself. But lead with your heart. And I really feel that this is a movement for the cause. There's a cause here. You know, I spent 15 years selling real estate, selling on Sunday, working. I showed 11 houses last Sunday, you know, and I don't even have to. I do it because I want to. I do it because I love our industry. You've got to believe that eXp was delivered here by Glenn Sanford to save the industry as real estate agents. That. So my wife is really, I mean, she's the powerhouse behind what we're doing, and she knows how to build this business, and she keeps me on track. And so I'm going to turn it over to the most beautiful woman in the room, my wife, Ashley.
So we are both agents, and so I'll say to you, so there's two different skill sets. There's a skill set of being a real estate agent, and there's a skill set of being able to recruit, a recruiter. Do you agree?
Yeah.
That's two different things. But you know what? My grandparents owned Century 21 in the town that I'm from, Louisiana, originally, my whole life. And what did I see them do? Recruit, my whole life. And where's the money come from in real estate? The commission that agents bring in, and it's just how does that get dispersed. So whenever we saw that video of Rob Flick, halfway through the video, Jay was at RE/MAX at the time. I was in investing and not an agent, but am now. At the time, we got about halfway through that video, and I hit pause and I said, "You're leaving RE/MAX, and we're doing this." And he filled out the application that night. And so it is worth your time to learn both skills, because before eXp, we weren't allowed to learn the skill or need to know the skill of recruiting. But it is important, and it is life-changing. It has been life-changing for us. So we're going to give you just a few tips, like practical tips of what we've done to bring on other agents. So stand up if you know somebody that is not a real estate agent, that does not live in your town. They don't live in your city, they're not a real estate agent, but you know them so well, you've got their cell number, you've known them for a long time. They're friends, stand up. Do you know somebody that's not a real estate agent?
Come on!
Okay, there we go.
They're wondering what is going on.
You just don't understand.
Okay, so we have brought on agents. No, stay up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we brought on agents because we believe that this business, and really every business, is relationship driven, right? So if you could pull out your phone right now, that one person, why you stood up and you said, "Hey, so-and-so, I'm in real estate in Nashville, Tennessee. I know you've known that for a long time, but you know what? I'm actually building my brokerage nationwide. Do you know any real estate agents that are great agents in your neck of the woods?" That's it. They're going to tell you somebody, and then you can send them a text and talk to them and get that referral from them. And they're going to be like, "Oh, I did not want to talk to this person at all about another brokerage, but because of so-and-so, and my respect for this person, I'm going to talk to them." So, get out your phones right now. Everybody, I don't see it happening. Pull out your phone right now. Right now. Send a text. Somebody's got their phone up over there, I love it. And send a text, say, "Hey, whoever that is, I know you know I've been in real estate for a while in Nashville, Dallas, wherever you are, but I'm actually building my brokerage nationwide. Do you know any great agents in your neck of the woods or your city, that's it. And then let's see if they send you a referral back.
Let me say something to that. And what's so brilliant about that is everybody loves their agent in their towns. And so they're not an agent. They're like, oh, you gotta meet Becky. She's awesome. She sold us 5 houses. Here's her number. And you get a referral. I mean, how much harder is it to convert a raw lead off of Zillow where somebody says, you're the greatest realtor, call them. So it's kind of the same concept, and Ashley's done such an amazing job at connecting. We don't force eXp on people. We just share a vision of what eXp can be for other agents. And, you know, one of the things I want to say is, and this is really, everybody's working, everybody's like, you can stop talking now, Jay. I'm talking to some agents. But we just make eXp fun, and we lead with fun. And we have events at our home. We have a farm in Nashville, and we just invite all of the agents. We're like, fly in, you guys come, you know, if you want to crash at our house. I mean, we're just fun people. And I think that's good.
And we're so laid back, I don't even cook. I'm like, it's just potluck. Come on, let's just hang out.
Yeah.
And that's what we do with our agents. And we have like 200 agents come, show up and just hang out all the time.
And so, and we're also doing, I'm just kind of taking, these are my notes, remember guys. We do these events in Nashville, and we don't, you know, Brandon, I tell you something good that Jay said. Jay is so dead on. You're creating leadership when you're not around, okay? And I'll give you an example. It's Brandon Patrick, who got me in real estate, sitting right beside Jay Kinder right now. Great guy. I owe him everything in real estate. And Brandon does the lunch and learn. And he stepped up and he said, Jay, I got this lunch and learn, man. I'm going to do this lunch and learn over here. And he does it, and he's there, and he's teaching agents, and he's helping agents. And I just like, Brandon, that's his deal. I don't even do lunch and learns, guys. I do webinars. And it works for us, and something that's very important. Guys, you gotta figure out what works for you. I mean, J's, X's, and O's, my gosh. I mean, I'm sitting over there soaking it in. I mean, we're all learning. And you might take one little thing from him, and something from Scott Lewis, and Glenn Sanford's gonna say something. Figure out how eXp works for you and make it fun.
Yeah.
That's so true. And you know, we don't only do webinars. Another thing we do is top golf events. So we also believe that have fun with your agents and agents that they want to talk to. So we do events that have nothing to do with a presentation about eXp. All it is having a good time together. So every other Friday, we have a top golf event. Our agents come, they bring other agents, and it's not even eXp, it's just let's hang out, let's have a good time. Everybody wants to have a good time. So I would say even while you're here, show videos of you just having fun. People are attracted to having a good time and having fun. So, okay, let's go back to what we were doing with referral. And so after you get that referral from somebody, then you send that to that other person and say, hey, we have a mutual friend, so-and-so, and you say who that is and how you know them. They said this about you, in quotes. And they're like, wow, that person said that about me? You must be a really great agent. I'm so excited to talk to you. I would really love to know what you have going on in real estate and to share with you what we have going on in real estate. Is that cool? Do you have a time to talk in the next couple of days? So that's how we get a lot of our referrals.
You know, another thing I would like to say, and you know, like I said, we don't really have a fancy pitch here, but like, you know, I think it really, our success has a lot to do with the fact that we are so connected to do this together. And I understand that there's a lot of people that maybe your wife is at home with 5 kids, or, you know, and you're the one that's out there hammered out. I just want to encourage you guys, and I know in each situation is different, so I don't want to force that on anybody. But look, include your spouse in eXp. Because this is a lifestyle. And I believe that you can be more successful if your spouse just feels like, he or she's a part of it, even though you might be the one on the real estate side and stuff like that. So that was just one of the little notes I took while sitting down there. The other thing is be obsessed. Be obsessed with learning the industry. Learn everything you can about how to be a great realtor. Like, I'm obsessed, guys. I mean, I sleep very little. Because Jay Kinder doesn't know it, but I stalked the living crap out of you, Jay. Woo! I mean, I watched Jay Kinder at 4 o'clock in the morning. She's like, are you coming to bed or are you watching Jay Kinder? I mean, but he's taught me. I'm learning. Some of you guys, I follow you guys and I watch what you're doing. And I'm obsessed with the knowledge of this industry. The other thing I wanted to say, and then I'm handing it back to her to close it out. I believe that I was sitting down with a guy, and I'm not saying this to step on anybody that doesn't sell houses. Look, Gene Frederick has nothing to prove that he's not going to sell a house this year. He sold 180 in a year, okay? He has nothing to prove. It's not about it, but I will say for me, just for me, when I'm out there selling, $20 million with no buyer's agents in that first year at eXp, I told Ashley, and I did. I remember we came back from San Diego, and I said, and she goes, we're going all in. I said, I know. And she goes, well, what are we going to do? And I said, you know what, baby? I'm going to sell more dadgum houses in the next 12 months than I ever have, because when we wake up in a year and we built a brokerage, we had 491 agents 12 months later, and I closed $31,386,000 worth of real estate in 12 months with no buyer's agents and one assistant. And the reason I did it is I had to prove to myself, that when I sat down in front of an agent and they go, well, I'm too busy. Oh, I don't have time to recruit. I'm like, you can do this. It wasn't like to say, oh, look at me, how great I am. I want you to believe that you can still go sell 40 houses a year or whatever that is and still build the brokerage at the same time. And then agents are seeing you doing both and they're like, oh my gosh, he built a brokerage, but he's still selling houses. And it attracts agents and they respect you. So don't stop selling. I tell Glenn this all the time. Me and Glenn has been so accessible to me. He thinks I'm nuts. Maybe I entertain him a little bit. I don't know. But I tell him, I said, man, we gotta always remember, we have to teach, empower, and focus on teaching agents to sell houses. Because if we don't sell houses, we don't have an eXp brokerage. Finish up.
That goes just back to what I said in the beginning. The only money that comes in from real estate is the commission that an agent makes. So we have to train and empower agents to know how to sell houses, to know how to be good agents. And then also to incorporate how do I be a good recruiter, because like we said, it's 2 different skill sets. So we just feel honored and blessed to be up here, and like we said, we got the vision immediately. We did not really understand that it would turn into what it is in 27 months. We just really didn't. So we're very thankful, and we're thankful for everybody in this room, and we hope you even more success than we've had. So thank you.
Thanks, guys.